$50 billion in Dallas mega projects are reshaping how American cities are going to build their future. We're talking about Japanese bullet trains, underground highways, a 250-acre urban park, smart city technology. And I've been in Dallas for over 25 years and real estate the last 15 years. And today I'm going to be showing you all of the projects that will impact America's next 50 years, especially in Dallas, because Dallas is going to set the stage. Now think about this, 90 minutes. That's kind of breakfast in Dallas, lunch in Houston, and dinner back home. So the Texas high-speed rail could make that actually possible and to be America's first true bullet train system. So this is the proposed high-speed rail between Dallas and Houston, and if it actually gets built, we're talking about this crazy Japanese technology that they're working into that. It's the same system they use in Japan, which has one of the most reliable rail systems in the world. So no more airport security, no more traffic on I-45, just 200 miles per hour straight to Houston. And I gotta be honest with you, this project has had some pretty serious setbacks. So in April of 2025, the U.S. Department of Transportation terminated almost a $64 million federal grant that was supposed to help kind of fund that. So it was a pretty big blow to the project. But here's where it kind of gets interesting is that the Texas Supreme Court ruled back in June of 2022 that Texas Central, the company that's behind the project, has the legal right to buy land from property owners even if they don't want to sell. So that's a pretty huge legal victory because you can't build a 240-mile train without the land. And now as recently as August of 2025, a key investor claimed that the project is shovel-ready with all the federal permits already in place. So while there's no active construction happening right now, the groundwork is kind of done and laid out. So if they can secure the funding, this project could still move forward. But you got to think, why does this actually matter for America? And it's because if you can connect two major metros in 90 minutes, that really changes how people live and work. As of right now, if you want to travel between Dallas and Houston, you're either driving 4+ hours down I-45 or you're going to fly. And so a bullet train makes it easy to live in one city. You could even work in the other or to do business between the two without really losing a full day of travel. And of course, for real estate, this would be massive. You talk about development would likely surge along the corridor, especially near proposed station sites. Now, station locations that were previously discussed kind of include the southern Dallas County, you got the Brazos Valley, and the area near Houston's Loop 610. So Dallas would become even more attractive because of the seamless access to Houston's economy. So imagine living in Dallas, which is way better than Houston, and then hopping on a train in the morning, taking a meeting in Houston, and then being back home before dinner. And you know what else is pulling people to work in Dallas is the corporate headquarters that are relocating, which I'm going to be covering that towards the end. But those relocations are exactly why projects like this bullet train really matter. More companies, more commuters need more infrastructure. So stick with me for that. Now, again, I think this project is still a long shot, especially in the near term, but if it happens, it creates a completely new real estate corridor, one that doesn't exist yet. So station locations would become instant investment opportunities, and that's the kind of transformation that shapes a region over the next 50 years. And speaking of transformations that are actually happening, the airport expansion is using construction methods that kind of sound almost like science fiction. But quick note before we get into the airport expansion, if you're thinking about selling your home in the Dallas area or buying something around any of these areas, you want to know how these projects can change certain neighborhoods and how that affects property values. I would love to be able to have a conversation with you. We've helped hundreds of families move every single year and navigate this market, especially during these interesting times. So my contact information is in the description or on the screen. And by the way, my name is Levi, and like I said, I've been navigating this market for over 15 years. All right, so back to the DFW Airport, which is spending more on one expansion than most cities would spend on their whole downtown or even their skyline. And this is actually what's happening right now, which is the DFW Airport Expansion. So it's right in the middle of a program called DFW Forward, and it's kind of like reshaping aviation infrastructure in America. So DFW is already the second busiest airport in the world by aircraft movements, but with Dallas-Fort Worth adding almost 200,000 new residents every single year, they needed to expand a lot faster, and that's exactly what they're working on. And that centerpiece is going to be Terminal F. And this thing has grown to an estimated $4 billion in investment, way up from the original $1.6 billion. So that's adding 31 new gates. And that's actually double what was originally planned. So these gates are specifically for American American Airlines, and they're expanding international operations in a pretty big way. So that also means more direct international flights and no more connecting through Houston or Atlanta every time you want to fly to Europe or Asia. But here's where it gets really cool as well. They're using modular construction for Terminal F, so they have 6 massive prefabricated modules, some the size of a football field, weighing over 3,300 tons, that are built off-site and then moved into place. So it's kind of like building with Legos, but really for a multi-billion-dollar airport terminal. I mean, this will cut construction time down, and it's way more efficient than just traditional methods. And by the way, the convention center redevelopment that I'm going to be also talking about here in just a minute explains a lot of that. They're betting $3.7 billion on bringing major conventions back to Dallas. So more conventions means more international business travelers, and more business travelers means you need a world-class airport, right? I mean, it just all starts to connect and tie together. But Terminal F isn't really the only thing that's happening. Terminal C is getting a separate $3 billion overhaul right now. They're removing over 400 view-blocking columns, installing new dynamic glass windows, and raising the roof throughout the concourse. And if you've flown through Terminal C recently, you know it really needs this. I mean, it's going to look incredible when it's all done. Now, the first phase of Terminal F is expected to open in 2027. So when you combine all of this, Terminal F, the Terminal C renovation, and of course all of the other improvements, I mean, DFW is positioning itself as one of the top 3 global aviation hubs. So we're talking about competing with London, Dubai, and even Tokyo. And of course, that's going to bring on more jobs, more business relocations, more tourism, more economic activity. So DFW already generates billions every single year, and this expansion really multiplies that. So for anyone in the North Dallas, Frisco, Plano, Grapevine area, your property values really benefit directly from this infrastructure. I mean, the airport becomes more valuable, your proximity becomes more valuable as well. But while DFW is expanding to handle more capacity, there was also another transit project designed to do the same thing for downtown, and I want to talk about that next. So here's the deal. I mean, Dallas almost got its first underground rail line, so most people have no idea that this was even on the table, but the fact that it was kind of tells you where the city needs to go next. So you have the DART D2 subway, and that was proposed as the second light rail alignment through downtown Dallas. Underground tunnels designed to kind of relieve congestion and modernize the entire transit network. So right now, all of the DART rail lines that go through downtown use the same tracks, and that kind of creates a lot of bottlenecks. It also limits capacity, and it makes it harder to expand the service. But the D2 subway would have created a second route through the central business district underground, and that would have really doubled capacity and allowed for way more frequent trains. Now, the project was estimated to cost between $1.7 to $1.9 billion, but there's a catch. I mean, DART removed it from their long-term financial plan in 2023, so the removal was really driven by the post-pandemic uncertainties and kind of shifting ridership patterns, as well as changes to downtown's role as a business center versus a residential neighborhood. So, you know, is it dead? I mean, for right now, it is, but I think that's worth talking about because if Dallas is serious about really competing with other major cities on transit, this kind of project needs to happen eventually. And of course, you got cities like New York, DC, Chicago. They all have underground rail systems that move millions of people every single day. And Dallas is going to need that level of infrastructure as we keep growing. And if it does happen down the line, it would completely change downtown Dallas. So more transit capacity means more development, more density, higher property values. You know, so for anyone thinking long-term about real estate in or near downtown, this is a framework to really keep in mind. And if you want to talk about dividing downtown versus connecting it, there is actually a physical barrier doing that right now. And the debate over what to do with it is one of the most controversial topics in Dallas. So there's a concrete wall that kind of cuts Dallas in half. Most people drive over it every day and never think twice about it. But, you know, they're thinking about tearing it down or burying it, and that can unlock billions in real estate value. And of course, I'm talking about I-345, which is the elevated freeway that runs along the eastern edge of downtown. It was built in 1973, and it's basically a giant barrier between downtown and Deep Ellum. So it divides neighborhoods, it kind of creates noise, extra pollution, and takes up massive amounts of space. So TxDOT has been kind of studying what to do with this, and you know, do you reconstruct it as an elevated highway? Do you bury it underground, or just remove it entirely and kind of replace it with a boulevard or something? But each option kind of has its pros and cons, but the debate has really been going on for years now. But right now, TxDOT is kind of moving forward with a reconstruction plan of burying the highway underground in a 65-foot deep trench. And so they've received environmental clearance in November of 2025. An estimated cost is about $1.7 billion. But construction on that isn't expected to start until after 2029 because it's scheduled to follow the completion of the I-30 Canyon project, which runs from 2025 through 2029. And so once it does start, the total construction timeline is estimated at about 5 years. But while this highway project really kind of sits in limbo for another decade, I mean, the park projects I'm about to show you are already under construction and also proving what happens when you actually remove barriers between neighborhoods. So I'll get to that here in just a minute. Now, here's where it also gets interesting. I mean, there's a strong movement from urbanist groups kind of pushing for full removal instead of reconstruction. They argue that replacing the highway with a boulevard would kind of cost way less, and so that difference is about $900 million versus $65 million, depending on the specific design. So complete removal would really open up about 245 acres of land for development, thinking parks, housing, retail, offices. However, though, under TxDOT's current hybrid plan, the city would need to secure about $430 million for land acquisition and cap construction, but the long-term economic benefit could still be massive. And then think about what Clyde-Warren Park did for downtown Dallas. I mean, it's a deck park over Woodall Rogers Freeway. I mean, it completely transformed the area. Property values exploded and new businesses started to move in. It became one of the most popular public spaces in the city. So the I-345 project could do the same thing on an even bigger scale. And so for neighborhoods like Deep Ellum, you got Expo Park, and areas east of downtown, I mean, this project determines kind of the next 20 years of growth. And if the highway comes down or gets capped, you're looking at a development wave, I think, coming through there. And if you're thinking about buying property in East Dallas right now, understanding which scenario happens and when kind of becomes critical to timing your investment. And of course, that brings us to the park projects that I mentioned earlier, the ones that are already proving what happens when you transform neglected spaces into really amazing public amenities. All right, so now we're talking about 325 million, 250 acres, a $7 billion in economic impact, and Dallas is building one of the largest urban parks in America, and most people don't even know it's happening right now, and that's going to be the Trinity River Park, starting with Harold Simmons Park. It's transforming the Trinity River corridor into a world-class park with trails, overlooks, ecological restoration for public spaces, and for decades, the Trinity River corridor was basically ignored. I think it was one of Dallas's biggest blunders. It was flood-prone, undeveloped, and not really even accessible, but cities all over the country have been turning riverfronts into major attractions. You got the Chicago Riverwalk, you got the San Antonio Riverwalk, you got the LA River revitalization, and Dallas is now going to do the same. So the first phase is the 22-acre West Overlook, designed by Lake Plateau and MVVA. So groundbreaking happened in April of 2025. It's expected to open in 2028. So this is going to be the gateway to the larger park system. You got trails and gathering spaces, views of the river and downtown skyline. I mean, they're putting in a 40,000 square foot event lawn, a 6-tower playground, a water play area, and picnic groves. So they're even adding a cable ferry, right? So it's pretty cool. But what I really like about this project is how it's going to reconnect the neighborhoods. So you got West Dallas, you got Oak Cliff, and downtown. I mean, they've been divided by the Trinity River for quite some time, and this park is creating new bridges, new trails, new access points that bring people together. So for real estate, that's pretty big. I mean, properties near major parks always see value increases. If you're looking for neighborhoods like West Dallas or the Design District, I mean, this isn't just about having a park nearby, it's about being positioned along a 250-acre economic catalyst, so to speak. I mean, as Harold Simmons Park comes online, the entire corridor shifts from overlooked to really essential. I mean, the project is conservatively forecasted to generate over $7 billion in economic impact over the first 30 years of operation and attract over 3 to 6 million visitors annually. And if you think 250 acres is impressive, I want to show you what 5 acres can do when you put them in exactly the right place. Okay, so we just talked about Harold Simmons Park, but there's also another major park project that could generate $1 billion with its 5 acres, and that's Southern Gateway Deck Park, officially named Halpern Park. And this is a 5-acre bridge park that spans I-35 near the Dallas Zoo. It's designed to reconnect Oak Cliff, which has been divided by the highway for decades. I mean, if you've ever driven throughout that area, you know the highway cuts right through all the neighborhoods. And that can create some noise, some pollution, and kind of like a physical barrier, but Halpern Park is going to change that. It's under construction right now. The first phase is expected to open in April of 2026, right before the World Cup. And the project received a $23 million grant from the Halpern Foundation in September of 24. And that was one of the largest philanthropic gifts in Dallas Park's history. So the economic impact is really projected at about $1 billion in the first 5 years, and that includes an estimated $14 million in property tax revenue. So that's a pretty huge return for the city and the surrounding neighborhoods. And of course, anyone living in Oak Cliff, Kessler Park, Lake Cliff, Bishop Arts, this park is going to boost property values and attract new businesses. Deck parks have a proven track record. If you look at Clyde Warren Park, it completely changed downtown, and Halpern Park is going to do the same for Oak Cliff. Now, for buyers looking at Oak Cliff right now, you're getting in about 6 months before that park opens, but once it does, demand can jump, and that window really matters if you're serious about the area. Now, parks create community value, but if you really want to see a real pure economic powerhouse, the convention center redevelopment brings billions kind of in a completely different way. All right, so the K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center is getting a complete redevelopment, and that's been estimated between $3.3 billion and $3.7 billion. So the current convention center is a little outdated. It doesn't have the space or amenities to compete with Vegas and Orlando or Chicago. So in the convention business, if you're not competitive, you're losing billions in economic activity. So Dallas is going all in. The new center will have about 800,000 square feet of exhibit space and 400,000 square feet of breakout space. And that includes a 100,000 square foot ballroom. That's pretty massive. It's designed to secure major conventions that Dallas has been losing to other cities for years. And the economic projections are pretty wild. The expansion is expected to secure conventions representing over $1 billion in direct spending and over $1.66 billion in total economic impact for conventions booked from 2029 and beyond. So the city council approved a $1 billion bridge loan in June 2025 to kickstart the convention center's redevelopment, and construction began in July of 2025, with the center expected to open in early 2029. So this isn't just, another convention center. The surrounding area is being reimagined as a convention center district with new restaurants, bars, hotels, public spaces, also an entertainment district. So the venue will also serve as the global broadcast operations center for 2026 FIFA Men's Soccer World Cup. And remember how I mentioned the airport expansion earlier? There's also a brand new rail line that's finally connecting the airport to all those northern suburbs where people actually live. All right, so think about this. You live in Plano, your flight leaves DFW in 2 hours, you walk to the train station, you hop on, and you're at the airport in 30 minutes. No traffic, no parking lot stress, right? No $15, $25, $30 daily fees. That's not fantasy. That's the Silver Line, right? So it's a brand new 26-mile regional rail service connecting DFW Airport to 7 cities. You got Grapevine, you got Capel, you got Dallas, Carrollton, Addison, Richardson, and Plano. So it's the first east-west rail line in Dallas, and it's a critical line of transportation for the region. So right now, if you live in Plano and you want to get to the airport without driving, it's basically impossible. With the Silver Line, you can hop on the train, connect to DFW Airport, North Station, and you're right there. So the Silver Line started service in October of 25, and the project cost $2.1 billion and represents DART's largest capital investment to date. So the economic impact is really building on DART's track record, and DART-related transit-oriented development has already generated over $18 billion in direct economic impact over 25 years, and the Silver Line is going to build on that. So the stations that they're building, you've got Cypress Waters, you've got City Line and Bush. These are in areas that are seeing huge development, and Cypress Waters alone is a massive mixed-use development, and you're adding direct rail to the airport. So property values in that area are likely going to go up, and Plano is getting 2 new stations. You got 12th Street and Shiloh Road. Shiloh Road Station serves as the eastern terminal with over 600 plus parking spaces and 60-minute travel time to Terminal B. And then you got the 12th Street Station, right, connecting to to existing DART, orange, and red line service with 313 space parking, and that plays a key role in downtown Plano's expansion. But for anyone really looking to invest near those stations, right now would probably be a good time. I mean, transit-oriented development is one of the smartest real estate plays because it's predictable. Stations create value, period. I mean, the Silver Line is creating 10 station opportunities along the corridor, so if you get in near a station before demand surge follows, and you're positioned for better opportunity. But transit alone doesn't drive growth. I mean, the innovation economy does, and Dallas is building something most people don't even realize exists yet. And that means that Dallas is building a living laboratory where smart city technology gets tested in real time, and that's going to change what it means to be a Dallas tech hub. And this is the Dallas Innovation Corridor, so it's a developing research and tech zone anchored by Pegasus Park. So it's designed to foster life sciences, biotech, and really smart city initiatives. Pegasus Park is a 23-acre campus dedicated to innovative companies, life sciences, and social impact. So it's home to BioLab's Pegasus Park, which is a university and institution agnostic incubator that's really become key to the North Texas life science ecosystem, along with Bridge Labs, which is a 135,000 square foot facility for growth stage biotech companies. You got biotech startups, research companies, innovation-driven businesses are also setting up shop there. But, it's just not the life sciences. I mean, the Dallas Innovation Alliance created the DIA Smart Cities Living Lab, which is a 4-block corridor in downtown that serves as a test bed for smart technologies. And they've got connected infrastructure, advanced mobility systems, energy efficiency, data-driven urban planning. And Dallas is kind of positioning itself as a leader in a smart city innovation. And the economic impact is really projected around $1.9 billion at full build-out. And that's all from investment, job creation, and economic activity centered on innovation and tech. So for a city traditionally known for finance and real estate, this is a pretty big shift, and Dallas is becoming a major tech hub. And of course, areas around Pegasus Park, the Design District, Victory Park, parts of Uptown are going to benefit from that. Companies moving here need housing for employees, retail, dining, amenities. That drives up real estate demand. So if you're an investor looking to buy in Dallas, kind of keeping an eye on the innovation corridor positions you ahead of the curve. And as this ecosystem grows, the areas grow around it, and they typically appreciate, and not really because of hype, but because of fundamental job growth and infrastructure investment. And now we got mixed-use developments are also kind of rewriting the rules of where people live and work in Dallas. And you're seeing entire self-contained communities live, work, eat, shop, exercise, all within walking distance. And first up is the Central. And so that's going to be a 27-acre mixed-use community in East Village focused on connectivity and wellness. The scope of that is massive. You've got 2.5 million square feet of office space. You've got 2,000 multifamily units, 110,000 square feet of retail and full service hotel. Plus you got a 4-acre centrally located park that kind of focuses on health and wellness. So you can live, work, eat, shop, and exercise all in the same community. It's pretty cool. And then you have Redbird, the transformation of the former Redbird Mall in southern Dallas into this cool mixed use hub. And this was a struggling retail center. Now it's being redeveloped into the Shops at Redbird, which includes UT Southwestern Medical Center facilities, Parkland Health facilities, and has attracted major tenants, including you got Dallas College, Children's Health, and generated approximately 3,200 jobs. So phase 1 is scheduled to be complete by fall of 2027. And this is designed to be a pretty major hub for healthcare, retail, and job creation in southern Dallas. Then you have the large-scale corporate headquarter campuses in Plano and Frisco. You got Toyota relocated its North American headquarters to Plano in 2017. That brought about 4,000 jobs. You got the PGA of America headquarters in Frisco, which is part of a $520 million mixed-use development. That includes 2 championship golf courses. And of course, the entire PGA Frisco campus, that spans over 660 acres. It includes 510-room Omni Resort, the golf courses, practice facilities, and it's projected to generate $2.5 billion in economic impact over the next 20 years. And of course, these corporate relocations, they reshape regional economy. High-paying jobs, you got talent influx, demand for housing and services. So anyone looking at real estate in Plano or Frisco, these headquarter campuses explain why the property values just keep climbing in those areas. They're economic anchors that really support entire neighborhoods around them. And now, of course, with everything we've covered today, you can see how these Dallas projects are the playbook every major American city is really going to follow. And the ones who move now are positioning themselves before everyone else catches on. So if you're thinking about buying property in Dallas while these projects are still under construction, then of course timing matters. So of course we're tracking every development, every timeline shift, and we know exactly which neighborhoods are really about to surge. So just shoot me a text or even reach out by phone if you want. All of my information is below. I'd be very happy to help you answer any questions or think about your next opportunity here in the Dallas. If you're trying to sell and get closer to one of these areas, that's very, very important on timing as well. You can get a free home evaluation in the description below just to get an idea of where your home value is at right now. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the stages of growth that are going to be happening in Dallas, you should check out this video here where I break down exactly where we've been and where we're headed all the way up through 2030 and 2050. So check that out. And until next time, well, we hope to show you around town.